Okay, let's talk about this deck, Mono Blue Tempo. Really been loving this. This is a fun, low rare cost deck that really hopes to control your opponent's game plan just enough that you can sneak your big creatures in before they can actually finish going. So how do we achieve that? Well, on the top side, we've got Haughty Djinn, 4 of rare card gets +1 or X attack power for the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. Huge. Also, instant sorcery cards cost 1 less to cast, and it's flying all for 1 and 2 blue. Really, really powerful card. Definitely the star creature in this deck. However, Tolarian Terror, 6 and 1 blue, but it costs 1 less to cast for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. Also has Ward 2 for 5/5, really solid card. Not uncommon, you'll be casting this for 1 blue. And then Eddymurk Crab, 5 and 2 blue, Elemental Crab, Flash, costs 1 less for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard, and when it enters, tap up to 2 target creatures. It does enter tapped itself. That's rarely a problem because you're often flashing this card, stopping your opponent getting to go, and then swinging on the reverse end for 5, 10, maybe even more. The easily second most powerful card as far as creatures are concerned, and certainly fights with a Djinn for most valuable. Single copy of Flow of Knowledge here, 4/1 blue instant speed card that says draw a card for each island you control, discard 2. If the game's going long, if you're finding yourself in a polarity situation where you're just not able to get through for the final bit of damage, this will often find you the cards, if they exist in your deck, to solve the issue. And then the rest of the deck is mono blue good stuff that just is instants or sorceries to power everything else up. So most importantly here is probably 3 steps ahead. This is a rare card. It is so good. You cannot skip it if you're in blue, I think. And that is 1 blue with Spree, and we have the options of counter target spell. So sometimes this is just a pure counter. You will play it plenty that way and feel happy about it. Sometimes it's create a token that's a copy of a target artifact or creature you control for 4 total. Copying out your Djinns is powerful. Copying a crab and then stunning more creatures is powerful. Really, really excellent ability. N+2, draw 2 cards, discard a card. This is also relevant as well. If you're finding your opponent isn't playing things you want to counter, you just go for the draw instead for the same cost as your counter target spell. In other cases, when the game is going later, you'll counter an important card, you'll draw 2, and you'll create a token all in one go on your opponent's turn. Often you're running away with the game at this point. However, aggro is in the meta. We have to survive the early game. So to do that, we have 4 copies of Into the Flood Maw, 4 copies of Unsummon, and in the sideboard here, I've also got Aetherize. This is a card I think I would put in the deck if I was seeing too much red, too much elves, and was starting to get beat up by them. Fortunately, in my playtest here, most of the aggro decks we ran against, we were able to stop them with Into the Flood Maw and Unsummon, just long enough until we get the Djinn, the Crab, and the Terrors down. And then Sleight of Hand, Phantom Interference, Curate, Moment of Truth, Negate, more card draw, counters, and often we're looking for card draw that also lets us bin cards into the graveyard. So Sleight of Hand is the only exception here. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand, 1 in the bottom of your library. Curate is Surveil 2, then draw a card. Moment of Truth is look at top 3 cards, 1 in graveyard, 1 in hand, 1 back in the library. And Negate, this is one of those spells where it's a little bit cheaper if the opponent is playing non-creature spells. This is good because a lot of the opponent decks I'm playing against often are more control-y than they are aggro. If, again, you start running into more aggro decks than you are control as the meta shifts, ebbs, and flows, these are probably the cards I would look to drop out, maybe put in something else. Maybe you go Spell Pierce, maybe you go a creature counter. The board is really open for you. Again, the Aetherize is also a good card. Maybe you also just throw in more creatures. Maybe you throw in the turtles for some early blocking power. A lot of options there. Negate, I think, is probably the card that can go the quickest. But there's definitely a lot of flexibility with this deck to take out some of the lower end cards. Really, I think Djinn, Terror, and Crab, and really Djinn, Terror, and Crab are the core. Oh, and 3 steps ahead are probably the core part of this deck. Everything else is flex pick based on meta, which makes this so versatile. absolutely think you can climb as high as you want in this. Diamond to Mythic is certainly going to be challenging in some cases, but yeah, you've got the tools here. It's a good deck. Let's go ahead and get in some games. Alright, going against Fractal Virus. Should be a good time. Triple Island, Interference, Sleight of Hand, Moment of Truth, and Djinn. This is keepable. Okay, opponent going down to 5. Plays the Swamp. I think we can go ahead and show Sleight of Hand here. I do think we want the Terror. Let's see if they play any other killers. Nope, they're showing mono black thus far. Not my favorite thing. At least not to play against. Triple, they go Unstoppable Slasher. I think we just counter that. It's the most efficient way to stop it. We play down 3. I think we do go Djinn. That means Moment of Truth is now 1 cost. Can't quite play Terror next turn. I expected removal for the Djinn. That's not what they show us. Oops, Sleight of Hand. We find Crab. Crab is actually a 4 cost right now. Moment of Truth is instant. I'm going to go ahead and swing in, see if they'll take the bait. If they don't, we'll still Moment of Truth. We find the Unsummon, I think, is what we want. We'll put Crab back in the deck. See if maybe we find it later. They take 4, end turn. I don't actually know that I need to unsummon the Bloodletter. I'd like to see what they do. Rush of Dread. Okay, I think we need to unsummon the Bloodletter. Because I'm pretty sure that would have been lethal. Alright, Moment of Truth. We find Negates. Maybe that's meaningful. I think we just grab an Unsummon. Find the second one. Play Terror out. Go in for 7, and I think we've won this now. We can unsummon the Bloodletter when it comes back down. They won't get to do anything. And then we definitely have lethal on board. Okay. Good game. Fun deck. What was this? Rush of the Dread. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. So just a 3 mana combo piece. No, 5 mana combo piece with Bloodletter that just instantly wins you the game. Right? Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. If an opponent would lose life during their turn, they lose twice that much life instead. Yeah. And the rest of the options aren't bad. Target opponent sacrifices half the creatures they control their choice, rounded up. Target opponent discards half the cards in their hand, rounded up. Man. It's a little on the expensive side at 5 mana. I presume most of the deck then is removal. They didn't really show that. And then they're also got the Unstoppable Slasher, so they had multiple ways to just kill us off there. I wonder if they probably run Unholy Annex as well for card draw. Is neat. Alright, into the next game here. We are against Medium Mike. Thank God it's not his larger brother or his smaller one. It is just Medium Mike. Alright, Double Island, Into the Flood Maw, 3 steps ahead, Unsummon, and Moment of Truth. None of our big creatures here. 2 Unsummons, 3 steps ahead. This is, I think, better than a lot of 6 hands we're going to get. But we do need to go find our creatures. So if they play a card that is a creature, we'd probably bounce it. They do not do that. We're not going to play Moment of Truth just yet. But I do almost certainly think it is the card we're playing. Gremlin Tamer. Okay, we'll play Moment of Truth in response to that. Go get a crab. Put the Unsummon in our graveyard and the second crab back in there somewhere. If we draw a land here, we can keep up 3 steps ahead. Is there a world where we just play the Djinn? I think we just play the Djinn, actually. Turn 3, there could be some pretty impressive cards they play out here. That would be unfortunate. They might just bounce our Djinn even. They show us a... what is this, Plains? Pretty sure it's Plains. Okay. Lots of creatures. They get some gremlins. I'm not too scared of them. I don't think we attack. We just hold up the blockers. What do they want to do? They show us another gremlin. That's fine. Are they going to unlock the door now with another land? Inquisitive Glimmer. Very wide. They don't choose to go in at all. I actually think I'm going to 3 steps ahead the Djinn. Get another attacker here. And then unsummon one of their tamers. Our turn. Swing 8. Put them down to 12. Hold Crab, hold Maw, and hold 3 steps ahead. Feeling pretty okay. They've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Can we just win? Yeah, we've got lethal next turn in a couple of different ways. Enduring Innocence. This is fine. It doesn't give anyone lifelink. It itself has lifelink, but that's fine. They do get some card draw off of it. Their second Gremlin Tamer doesn't do anything. Edict's Memory, draw a card. You have no maximum hand size. If you draw more than 1 card, put X +1/+1 counters. I think that's fine as well. Yes, they get some triggers, but we have lethal. They don't have any flying, they don't have any evasion, and they don't have enough to kill us this turn unless they show us something else. That's also not it. Enduring Innocence won't even go off again. I think we create another copy. Hold it up for blocks. They can absolutely put +2/+2 on something. They might be realizing that they're probably just dead here, though. Doing the math. Right, they've got 4, 7, 10, 12 damage. Go ahead and block the 3/3 bunny. Let's go ahead and bounce the tamer. We go down to 14. We could show them Crab too. I don't think it's important. We just go for victory. -6 on opponent. 3 steps ahead. Once again coming in super clutch there. GG. Alright, into the next game. You go first. Triple Island, Interference, Sleight of Hand, Unsummon, and Terror. I think this is keepable. We'll play out the island. We'll immediately go Sleight of Hand. We find Crab off the top, which I'm pretty happy with. Maybe the second Sleight would be a little bit faster. I don't think we need faster. At least opponent isn't showing us anything. Blue-white, Temple of Enlightenment, another Plains, still no creatures or cards. Nothing for us to interact with. We've got the counter up with Interference, though. They still don't show us anything we can do with it, and unfortunately, that puts us in a position now with not drawing lands that we don't have anything to do. We do find the next one. I still don't think we actually do anything here. Yeah. We could start playing our Terror next turn. What is opponent doing here? Nuclear Death. Refusing to show us cards. We're going to go ahead and Phantom Interference for the 2/2 Spirit creature. See what they want to do about that. I assume they have counters. They say the 2/2 is not a big enough deal. Maybe they have Unsummons they're willing to run. We could run the Djinn out here, but then we don't have enough mana to hold up Phantom Interference. Let's go for the combat damage first, I think. 2 damage. They say, I'll take it. Now what? I think we just end turn. What do they want to do? Silver Scrutiny. They want to draw a bunch of cards. I'm going to say no. Normally, I'm not a big fan of countering the draw cards, but that is a lot. Presumably, they are fishing for something. They're wondering if I have the counter again. Little do they know, I do, but only just. We cannot play Djinn and keep it up. We are actually just too few lands. Really unfortunate. We can't play Crab now, so if they don't do anything their turn, we just flash Crab in at the end and have 7 damage on board. This is one of those games where it's hard to actually tell if we're at parity or ahead. They've got all the mana, but they're not doing much. Soul Partition comes in. I don't care about stopping the Soul Partition on that. And I don't want to reveal that I have counter. Although they probably have some idea since it paused. Pass to attackers, do nothing. We go ahead and play Crab. They have no interaction with it. And they don't get the chance to do anything before we tap. Alright, 3 steps ahead takes 3 mana. So if we Moment of Truth, we have to find land or they can play something past the counter. I think that's a fine chance. Then the 3 steps ahead. Terror gets cheaper. Can't play it. They go down to 11. We still got 3 steps ahead, so if they want to do anything fancy this turn, we should be able to stop it. I do feel like we're ahead right now. Day of Judgment. Do we actually care enough to stop that? I think we do. Because they only have 3 mana left after that, and that's not a lot. They say their own 3 steps ahead. Okay, that's fine. Crab's dead. We've still got cards, though. So we play out Terror. Play out an island. You are an instant. I'm not going to reveal my Djinn yet. Don't think that's right. We could just unsummon, though. They get 1 damage in with the land. They Sunfall. That's fine. We say unsummon. Sunfall goes off. They get an empty token. No big deal for us. Pass. My turn. We play Terror back down now. Hold on to the 5 mana, I think. No, I think we actually do play Djinn. Threaten lethal now. We still have Into the Flood Maw to bounce something here. They find another Sunfall. Oh, and it's only opponent's creatures, so that Sunfall will go through. They might tap the 2/2. I think with this we do bounce. Now the question is, do we Flow of Knowledge or Djinn? Okay. We find another Djinn. I think we go Djinn. And maybe Djinn. Presenting lethal again. Do they have the 3rd sweeper? Silver Scrutiny means they get to draw all kinds of cards. They've got 4 mana. They could have the sweeper here again. They don't. They have Assault Partition, though, which does put them back at non-lethal. And they have second interaction as well. Maybe. Unclear. We could potentially make this lethal if we can find 2 cards. Oh, dang. We did that too quickly. Whoops. That's fine. It's unclear if we would have found anyways. They've now got to find something. Okay, we Flow of Knowledge. We've got 3 mana, so we just need to find a counterspell here. We absolutely do. We've been to islands, and we show them the Negate. And presumably they scoop here. We've actually got another Negate too if we need it, but they don't know that. They create a treasure token, which is just not efficient, right? We go up 10 and they scoop. Oh boy, interesting game. One of those that you just don't have enough information from your opponent to really know if you're ever ahead or not. They found 1, 2, 3, 4 sweepers, a soul partition, 2 soul partitions, and a 3 steps ahead counter for us. They found a lot. I do wonder what their win con is. Like Silver Scrutiny, 3 steps ahead. They've got all the card draw and all the removal in blue-white possible. But whatever their win con is, I don't think we ever saw it. I don't think we ever saw any creature lands. So, yeah, unfortunately, we don't really get to learn what they were going for. Mr. God to you. Man, we've had World Peace, we've had the God. Make a Bolas too. A+ choice. 4 islands, 3 steps ahead, Moment of Truth, and Crab. This is honestly a lot of islands. I think I might go down to 6 here. We got the 1 counter, so we go turn 1, turn 2, Moment of Truth, and then 3 steps ahead counter on turn 3. Actually, this is okay. I think we can play it. We'll see where it goes. Nice sleeves, too. Sleight of Hand. Do we play that now? Or do we go Moment of Truth? We got no counter. I think we just spend max mana. What do we say? Put one of these in your hand. Maybe it's just the Sleight of Hand again. Put the Moment of Truth in graveyard. Put the Unsummon back. I don't actually know that they're a creature deck yet. Otherwise, the Unsummon goes way higher in my opinion. Fabled Passage isn't going to do them much this turn. They crack that. It comes in tapped. Fabled Passage is really one of those cards you want to see later on. Late Island. We do have 3 steps ahead now. But we can't Sleight of Hand. Turn 3, they got Spirebluff and Mountain. I think turn 3 is such a crucial turn for a lot of decks. We're actually going to hold up the counter and see what they do. They play Mechanized Warfare. For red artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent, deals that much damage +1. This is honestly not that big of a deal right now. I think we just go for the draw. Draw 2, discard 1 of the Sleight of Hands. That really filtered out some bad island finds for us. We have Crab now. We can actually Sleight of Hand first. Yeah, we'll put the Curate in our hand. Bin that. Next turn, end turn. If they play a creature, we can tap it, swing in for 5. If they don't play a creature, we might still play Crab. We'll see. Nothing. Honestly, this could be countered, but I don't think so. I'm just going to play the Crab out. Lands. Submit 0. They've got interaction, so this must be red target creature. Yep, Lightning Strike, and then maybe a Bolt. Oh yeah, Mechanized Warfare brings that up to a 4. And then Torch the Tower, exile my Crab. Poor Crab. Alright. Do we just flow a knowledge here, or do we curate? Either way, we can do it on their turn. Another mountain. Shattered Yard. Okay. It's actually kind of fun for them. I think we flow a knowledge here. Okay, that's actually some fun cards. Let's get rid of Phantom Interference and Unsummon. No, let's get rid of the double Unsummons. They've got nothing to Unsummon here. This is going to do 2 damage. We go down to 18. We find another Curate. We get to play Djinn immediately. Hold up counters, hold up draw, and it's an 8/4 right now. Really strong card. Let's see what they got. They're like, okay, I want to get rid of this thing. This is not cool. 3 damage. Oh, no. I forgot about the +1. That's on me. Whoops. I could have negated that. Alright, that does 1 damage. 2 damage. I'm still not too scared of it. We're going to Curate. That goes down. I'll draw into 3 steps. I don't have the Djinn anymore, so I couldn't do that. Yeah, we'll go to combat. We can do this on their turn for 4. I don't think that's that bad. We'll keep that option open. We put on some Blast Zone charges. That makes perfect sense for them. Certainly don't fault them there. They're kind of running out of gas, though. Okay. I can do both of these, by the way. All the mana. Counter, giving cards. 3 steps ahead. Such an insanely good blue card. Okay, enough with the islands. Let me discard more than 1. I don't want it. We'll Curate as well. Yeah. Finally, we find the Crab. Doesn't do us anything this turn. Take 2 more. It's a clock, but it is a slow clock. Sleight of Hand now. How many cards have I gone through? Am I at risk of milling? Oh wow, that sucks. 29. We're okay. Play Tolarian Terror. End turn. Verifying that ward only counts against opponent's cards. Ooh. Not seen that art for Shivan Reef before. That's nice. Okay. They decided Glassworks, which is just opened. I'm actually having just unsummon this card. Doop. Mine. Yeah, any other tricks? Pass to attackers. We'll play our cards again before main phase. Okay. Play Crab. Submit 0. Do we play this? We can't. Okay, it's 4. That's fine. We're putting more charges on Blast Zone. This deals damage per. Yeah. Non-land permit, so their Mechanized Warfare will actually go away from that. We can't counter it though, so we will just go Tolarian. We will pop in for quite a bit of damage. I think... Can we erase that, actually? If we go another Tolarian Terror now, they go up to 4. It is mana value? Which means that they can't kill either of those until 7? Yeah, screw that. We can just... That's way too slow. Terror. Well, we're not actually going to be able to pay or stop them from doing this. That's a big card. They can't activate Blast Zone anymore, though. Torch the tower. We'll negate it. We're down to 10. We find Crab. That's game. I do think we take 3 damage here. We don't. Nope. Game. Boom. Mostly crabs, terrors, counters. We get to play cards. You do not.